All right, guys, we are live for a little bit. I have to get everything ready for the national championship tonight that we are calling between Indiana and Miami. That game at 7:30 Eastern time. Will be setting up that stream in a little bit, but figure to go live for about half an hour here just to talk about the new coaching carousel, the AFC East. A busy day today in the AFC East. One coach fired, another coach hired. The vacancies back down to 7. Jeff Hafley, the Packers defensive coordinator, he has been hired as the new head coach of the Miami Dolphins. So that is official. Jeff Hafley, after 2 seasons as the DC of the Green Bay Packers, hired officially as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. Hafley was the head coach of Boston College for 4 seasons from 2020 to 23. During that time, Boston College 22-26. Not the best, but did have a winning record in 3 out of 4 seasons with Miami, or with Boston College, I should say. Boston College since then has been a house of horrors. I've been busy today. I've been really busy today. Since Hafley left Boston College, it's been a house of horrors. Boston College around 500 with Hafley as the head coach. Took the Doug Marrone route to some extent. Went from college, then did some assistant work in the NFL. I know he was the Bills head coach for a little bit, but now he gets a shot in the NFL as head coach. Come, New York Weather with $1. Appreciate you a ton on that one. Appreciate you a ton. Yep, one you're actually waiting for. There you go. Another emergency live stream. Should they toss Bean for everything? Yes, I think Bean was the problem. Bean is the reason they didn't get a receiver. Bean is the reason that there was no receiver this entire time. How's it going, Cujo from Broncos Country? Yep, you know I had to go emergency live stream for this. You know I had to do it. So Jeff Hafley, your thoughts on hiring Pretzing? That made no sense. That made no sense to hire Pretzing. That was such a bad move. It's like they didn't watch a single Cardinals game all season. To go from potentially getting Mike McDaniel to that, man. Yeah, we want a Hafley. Yeah, I'm not surprised he went to Miami. This is not a surprising move. I give it about a B-. It's not a surprising move. Obviously, the GM for the Dolphins was associated with the Packers, so you had a feeling they were going to make that connection. Now you wonder if Malik Willis is the quarterback next year. You wonder if Malik Willis is going to be quarterbacking. He is a free agent next year. The Dolphins obviously need a quarterback pretty badly after Tua has not looked good as of late, and the injuries, and Quinn Ewers did not do his job as a 7th-round pick out of Texas. So you wonder now if this sets the wheels in motion for Malik Willis to come to the Dolphins in free agency. Obviously, there is that connection in Green Bay. At Campbell, that's not a great move. Yep. How's it going, JP? Appreciate you tuning in. Why not Mike? Mike who? Mike. For the Lions OC? Oh, yeah, for Lions OC, yeah. I mean, I get not getting Mike McDaniel because maybe he wants a head coaching job, but Pretzing is so bad. Can I believe Dermot was fired? I'm surprised that Bean got promoted. I know Willis was terrible in Tennessee. I know that. Believe me, I was laughing when the Packers traded for him. But the last 2 years, Malik Willis has played his butt off. Malik Willis in Green Bay, to his credit, when he has been called upon, he has played his butt off. From again, try refreshing. Should be okay. To be fair, in Green Bay, when Jordan Love got injured, Malik Willis has played very well. 6 touchdowns, no interceptions. Mike McCarthy, that'd be so funny. Yes, that'd be so funny. The Lions front office has lost. I don't know what they're thinking. How Pretzing gets to stay as an OC in some capacity is nuts to me. Absolutely nuts. I think the wheels are now in motion for Malik Willis as a quarterback. Yeah, never get promoted is insane. Like I said, yeah. I mean, look, he was a head coach before, so we know he can be a head coach. We know he can be a head coach. He was a head coach at Boston College for 4 seasons. Didn't do much. I mean, they were 22-26, but by Boston College standards, as of late, that is not the worst. Seeing as what happened when Bill O'Brien got there. And Steve Adazio, he didn't do much either as the Boston College head coach for a long time. They were pretty much hovering around mediocrity. So, Dan with the tour, appreciate you a ton. How long does Stroud have after that game? They will pick up the 5th-year option. Although I will say it was weird today that D'Amico Ryan said he doesn't commit. He's not committing to Stroud as his long-term starter. He didn't say that. Who was second on the roster? What do you do with him? You might try and trade him and just clear some cap space. See if you can do a Brock Osweiler type trade. But I think the thing with Stroud, you pick up the 5th-year option because you kind of have to. But there is no universe where you extend him. Not yet. You do not extend him until after 2026 if he shows that he's good, because he's regressed the last couple of years. Mike Vrabel struggled in Tennessee toward the end. The Titans are low-key the Jets. It does feel that way. Where do you think McDermott ends up next year? I think I could see the Raiders. If the Steelers go Flores, I could see McDermott to the Raiders. Stream the Couch Will Natty? Yep. Yeah, that's why we're going to stay on for just a couple of minutes here. Probably about like 30 minutes. And then I'm going to be setting everything up for the Natty behind me. Right, Boston College has gotten worse without Hafley. That to me was a very good hire. That's fair. No, I'm just saying, like, he was not like a world beater. But again, very similar to Doug Marrone at Syracuse. Wasn't a world beater, but they got a lot worse after he left. Everyone, the biggest shockers of the Bills firing McDermott. The Dolphins got Jeff Hafley, decent hire, and no surprises there. No surprises. A Jags fan, thank God. Oh yeah. Campanelli off the board for now. For now, he is interviewing with the Ravens, and Udinski is the favorite in Cleveland now. I don't know why. Again, 30 years old, no play calling experience. Pat's favored by 5.5. That makes sense. What time is it, Natty? 7:30. I'll hop on at 6:30. Who the Bills get for head coach? I think Minner. I think Kubiak. I think they're going to go Kubiak. Regardless if they have to wait to interview him because of the rules, they never requested an interview because obviously McDermott was still on. So winning that playoff game against Jacksonville actually was pretty bad long term. If you were going to fire McDermott, that's actually pretty bad long term to have them win that game. Right, unless there's a late time, it could be impacted by president coming. Yeah, I think it's going to be a 7:42 kickoff is what you would expect. Yeah, tonight on TV, we ChatGPT the reason why McDermott was fired and Bean was retained. Oh, man. Yeah, having to deal with another Packers coach can't be worse than Gase. I mean, Adam Gase can't be worse than that. Hope for Lions fans, Pretzig uses the weapons he's been given, at least makes them competent. Only one way to find out. Yep. Only one way to find out. Again, emergency live stream. The Dolphins making their hire. After firing Mike McDaniel, they now go on the defensive side. Kubiak to the Ravens. Yeah, he'll go to one of the two. I think he'll go to one of the two. And then Minner might go the other one. I could see that. And Jeff Hafley, 4 seasons as the Boston College head coach, defensive coordinator for the Packers. And I will say the Packers defense this season, after Micah Parsons went down, was not that good. Yes, they did finish the year 12th in yards allowed, 11th in points allowed, but once Parsons went down, that team took a tumble. There were no adjustments made. And that's the concerning part with Hafley. I think that's the concerning part, is that a lot of teams know how to adjust after a player goes down. How's it going, Eagle fan? How's it going, Dolphins? Appreciate tuning in. You're hoping Kyler was a problem. Yep, you're hoping. Does the fans consider going to the Bills if Sean McDermott's fired last week? Maybe. I think the Bills are the number one vacancy. I think by far. I think they're by far the number one vacancy. You have Indiana 20 and Miami 10. A low-scoring game? All right, low-scoring affair. Flores Ravens to Steelers, Kingsbury to Bills. I don't think Kingsbury's going to job this cycle. I don't think he's going to job during this cycle. His stock is pretty low. But the Packers lost 5 straight games, and a big reason why was because of their defense. I'm not counting the final game against the Vikings because they played the backups of them when they're resting everyone. But their last 4 games with the starters playing, 32 points per game allowed. Once Parsons went down, that defense was a shell of itself. The schemes were not the best, and there were a lot of late drives they allowed down the stretch. Love, no more 8 p.m. football starts for a while. You and me both. You and me both. Pretty much locked in that Kubiak and Mara going to Ravens and Bills. Question is which one goes to which. Unless the Bills promote from within, unless they go for Dable, or unless they promote Joe Brady, or they get Davis Webb. Unless that happens. We'll see. Does not say Drew has been criticized for being considered not utilizing the key players to potential. Cards are the right move. 100%. No, he was one of the worst OCs in football. He was one of the worst OCs out there. I think the Ravens are the better job. I mean, I get that. I don't hate the idea that they're the better job because you have more stability at GM versus the Bills with Brandon Beane. I can at least trust what the Ravens front office is doing. You have to keep trying to rest and get everything set up for the Natty, and then all that happens. I don't like this. I really don't. Yeah, I had a feeling it was coming, though. Does Cleveland think Ray Dinsky is showing 2.0? I think so. I think he does because he has no play calling experience. He's 30 years old. He has 1 year as an OC where he didn't call the plays. I mean, I like the guy. Believe me. I like the guy. But like Campanelli, I really want to keep. Udinski, I want to keep. Don't get me wrong. If he gets a head coaching job, good for him. But I think Campanelli would be a very good coach. Udinski, I have no idea. He is so raw. He is so raw. I'm not sure about this. Yeah, we know he's got head coaching experience. That's the only thing. He has head coaching experience at Boston College, and they were not the worst at Boston College. He was around 500, very similar to Doug Marrone at college when he was the coach at Syracuse. Now, granted, not sure that's necessarily the best thing or the worst thing, but Doug Marrone, very similar. ACC school, 4 seasons, 25 and 25, pretty mediocre. But they got a lot worse after he left. Hafley, same thing, 22 and 26, 4 seasons, but they got a lot worse after he left. We will see on that. We will see. 2 again traded. They have to eat a lot of that contract. Tua's not going to be starting next year, I wouldn't think, but they got to eat a lot of that contract, the Dolphins. Bills are legit, just Josh Allen and James Cook. There's some other pieces, but for the most part, it's just those two. Hafley, I think he will install some discipline into this team. I think that's the thing. He will install some discipline. He came on the hot seat next year. I think his seat's a little bit warm. I'm not sure about the hot seat, but his seat's a little bit warm. He'll install some discipline into this team, which McDaniel was not doing. He got criticized a lot after the 2024 season for how soft he went in the practices. Right, Denver just a guy, yes. Yeah, and Hafley feels like just a guy, apparently. He does feel like just a guy. Again, I'm a bit worried because the defense laid an egg after Parsons went down in Green Bay. The adjustments were not there. Peel slowly with a 10, or I appreciate you, I'll get you on the board as well. Get you on the LED board. I can tell you as a Dolphins fan, none of us like this move. One, an experienced head coach with at least postseason success. They end up doing just what they've done the last 20 years, and it hasn't worked out. I get that. I completely get it. I'm not surprised by this hire. How long is this going to be? Probably like 20 more minutes, just because I have to get everything set for the national championship. Like, could a quarterback ask for something similar with their former college coaches? You could. I mean, the Oilers tried that. The Houston Oilers tried that with Campbell, with Warren Moon when he got there. So, could happen. But I think the thing with this move for the Dolphins, I'm not surprised. I think we were all preparing for this move because of the connection he had with Sullivan. And again, it's a who-you-know league. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And obviously, Sullivan knows him very well. Now, I think this does bring the wheels in motion to get Malik Willis. Willis is not coming back to Green Bay. The Packers will not be able to afford him. He's going to get a starting job. Yeah, I've done multiple emergency students at the trade deadline we did with the Gardner trade and the Jacoby Myers trade. Okay, I'll make that hiring. I have no idea. Yeah, the other member of the trade is Nathaniel Hackett, man. And gets carried by Payne, Hafley was carried by Parsons. Although the defense was fine last in 2024. To be fair, the defense was fine in 24. They were 5th in the league in yards allowed. But there were no adjustments made after Parsons went down. No adjustments. There are a lot of coaches that can make adjustments when players go down, and it seems like the defense when Parsons went down was absolutely crap. And it was. But I think it does set the wheels in motion for Willis, because obviously Dolphins need a quarterback. Packers have their guy with Jordan Love. Malik Willis, young, has potential. Last 2 years, he's played very well. He's done everything you could have asked of him. Does he give Malik Willis a starting job? I think the Dolphins, think about it. They got a Packers GM. They got a Packers DC as their head coach. Why not get the Packers backup quarterback who's a free agent, who the last 2 years, when filling in for Love, has played very, very well? More unexpected? Oh, by far McDermott. I had a feeling Hafley was coming. I didn't know when, but I had a feeling Hafley was coming. I've said for a while, Hafley to Miami. How's it going, RFK? Appreciate you tuning in. I like Hafley, but the fit and timing are terrible. Young coach, great defensive mind, head coach experience in BC. Quarterback issues, poor roster. Stephen Ross, I don't see the vision. Gone by 2028. There is anything that maybe do you want an offensive mind if you're going to get a coach, but if you're bringing in Malik Willis, he knows him well. Any teams reach out to Belichick? No. No, Belichick wants control, and I think after the whole UNC debacle, no chance. No chance. Yeah, it's a better black money than the actual black money. Yes, it is. It's a better black money than the actual black money. Seems pretty split in terms of the vote, whether you think it's a good move. 55% say yes, 45% say no. I think it's pretty meh. Yeah, now a DC opening for the Packers and Parsons. I think that, yeah, that's a good job. That's a very good job now. That is an extremely good job, potentially. Josh Allen, James Franklin. No, I trust Allen more in big games than I trust James Franklin in big games. Why is the camera on an angle? I have to fix that. There was something with the stand that got messed up. Let's try that again. Campanelli will stay in Jacksonville. He's getting interviews with the Ravens. I think he will. I think Udinski's gone, though. Yeah, today's been a slug. Yeah, missed the first live stream. What are your thoughts on the Bills firing McDermott, promoting Braden Bean? I get firing McDermott. I get it, but Bean was the guy that needed to go more. He needed to go way more than McDermott did. Bean is the reason they're in this mess in terms of poor drafting at wide receiver and whatnot. Who's going to be Hafley's OC? Yeah, again, it's a who-you-know league. It's definitely a who-you-know league. You're probably going to get someone from the Packers, I would say. Ever multiple owners who live streams the same day brilliant coaches? No. Rodgers go to the Dolphins? No chance. No, Rodgers, he might retire. He might retire at this point. I'm going to say the OC for the Dolphins. Will he be a good coach? He's so raw. Udinski has, like, no experience. He has no experience. Right, so they come in anything? Yep. It has to be secondary. It has to be a runabout options here. I mean, I'm not surprised he's going to get Hafley. No surprise there that the Titans going to get Hafley. But He got promoted to president of football operations, so he controls everything now. I think Nagy's going to Tennessee. The fact that the Chiefs hired Bieniemy as their OC means they don't think Nagy's coming back. Yeah, 5 of the 11 coaches in 23 hired, already been fired. Yeah, from the 22 firing, 22 cycle, 8 of the 10 have already been fired. I'm going to go, the man I think will be the new guy. I could see Sean Mannion. I could see Sean Mannion potentially being named the OC. I could see that. If you want some consistency, you get Malik Willis. Dable, not Dable. I saw Dable in the chat for the Bills job. Yep, he's the favorite right now so far. We'll see when they bring more interviews. Peel Slay with another 5. Appreciate you a ton on that one. My opinion on Willis, don't bother using resources. Stick with yours and suck to get the number 1 pick. Yeah, especially with that class in 27. I don't hate that idea. Well, you could give him a 3. You could give Willis a 3-year deal where there's an easy out after 1 season. Last one I go through, JP. Vance Joseph, I think he's going to go to Baltimore or Arizona, yeah. McDermott, no, he's not going to Baltimore because McDermott, you fired Harbaugh for the exact same reason the Bills fired McDermott. Best episode for iCarly? Ooh. The 24-hour marathon one was pretty good. Fresh Prince Papa's got a brand new excuse, but we did that one already. Broncos South Park, I would go Cartman Land on that one. And then Cheers, yeah, I'm not sure. Probably Jeopardy. Probably Cheers. Still doing intent? Yes, I am. I am. Bills interview Garrett. That'd be so funny. So the thing with you could get Willis in free agency, 3-year deal, and an easy out for 1 year. So no guaranteed money after the first year. You front load that contract potentially. And if you do that, he's the guy. Great. If not, then you can get out of the contract easily and you draft a quarterback in 27. The Harry Jordan episode, yeah. Oh yeah, Udinsky, I don't know. He's so raw. Udinsky has no play calling experience. He's 30 years old. He's had no responsibilities yet. Yeah, I'm going to do that video Tuesday, Tracy. Yeah, I just didn't have time with all the news today. My double goes to Buffalo and stands outside the medical tent. Allen gets injured. So, yeah. McDermott, Tennessee. I think they're pretty locked in on Nagy at this point. Now, granted, McDermott changes the equation, but I would think they want an offensive-minded coach when you've got a guy like Cam Ward. Now, having said that, obviously McDermott was there when they got Josh Allen. Josh Allen was extremely raw, was not very good his first 2 seasons, and McDermott did a good job with that staff developing him. Yeah, I saw it with the bagel. Oh man, yeah, I want to see how that is. I'm not crazy about like prepackaged bagels. If this would be younger than half the team, he would be. Rams versus Seahawks is gonna be a great game. I think the winner of that game will win the Super Bowl. Rams, I think, as long as they don't mess around special teams, should be okay. Because the Rams, the second game, they won the first game. Second game, they should have won if not for poor special teams play. I think as long as their special teams doesn't stink, I think the Rams win. Yeah, but you're not kidding, Kelly. You have the longest week of my life. You had to spend a slog. I don't blame you. Join the stream. I'll sit outside traffic in Detroit. Oh, man. Hopefully get back soon. Traffic is not fun. Traffic is never fun. Marcus Truman joining game day in a playoff. He should be in. Didn't opt out of this one, at least. Didn't opt out of this one. Yeah, Rams Seahawks will be a very, very good game. I'm excited for that. I'm excited for all the conference championships next week. We're going to be on for both those games, obviously. How many weeks for Hafley be on dumb decision? I'll give it 8. Wade Phillips, the coordinator? Oh, Phillips, the coordinator, was great. Phillips was not a great head coach, but as a coordinator, he was really, really good. Takes a chance on Tua at quarterback. You need a team with a lot of cap space that would take on that. It would probably be like a Brock Osweiler type trade. Had to be something like that. Maybe Arizona. You could do Arizona if you don't get a guy this year, just stink for a year with Tua, then get a guy in 27 in the draft. Could do that and have Tua and Brissett in the quarterback room. Mr. During firing news, because I slept in, it feels like only firing him banners the problem before another hemorrhage. Yep, Brandon Beane needs to go. Brandon Beane, the drafts have been terrible with Brandon Beane. He refused to get a receiver, then criticized media members and fans for saying, why didn't you get another receiver? Well, I think we saw why. The Bills don't have receivers. The best guy is Khalil Shakir. He's not a deep threat. Current coaching predictions. All right, let's see. Cards get Joseph. Yep, me too. Ravens, Kubiak. Bills, I think will go... Yeah, Minner. Browns, I think will go Udinsky. Flores gets with Steelers, Nagy, Titans, Raiders, McDermott. That's what I think too. Last time a champion never trailed at any point in the playoffs. Well, I gotta think about this one. Last time a champion never trailed at any point in the playoffs? Did the Eagles trail at any point last year? Did the Eagles trail? Right, that's true. It's like a miracle punt. That is true as well. Clayton's going to be back in the NFL. He's in the UFL right now. So if he plays well in the UFL, then he could be in camp. But he's in the UFL. What is he with Orlando, I think? I think it's with Orlando. Say I don't like this move because I want to keep him as a Packers DC. Having the first half, not going to lie. You better see the Pets. I'm with you on that one. I don't know. They didn't watch a single Cardinals game last year. Oh, new Megadeth song came out today, and Def Leppard teasing new music. Oh, let's go. Let's go. Yeah, I think the thing with him as Packers DC is, obviously he had his moments, but when Parsons went down, there were no adjustments. That defense was bad when Parsons went down. Right, can't bet against us. No, nothing would shock me in that game. Nothing would shock me. And if it's a blowout, I think you're right. If it's a blowout, I think it's the Seahawks blowing them out. Then we get the Bills dub. Who gets left out? Who would get left out in that equation? Probably Flores. And he would go to, McDermott would go to Pittsburgh. You bury this game. I'm with you on that one. You've been there since the second game. They're all spending a lot more confidence. Hopefully give Hafley a real chance like Sanford with Shanny. Hire the young guy. Give him a 5 to 6 year deal. Well, usually these contracts are 4 to 5 years. Give him a few years to tear down the roster to studs. Patience is how this works. At least they're going complete rebuild. They're going with the complete rebuild. And that is the good news for the Dolphins. It's not a half measure. They're at least going complete rebuild. Sullivan and Hafley know each other pretty well from their time in Green Bay. So I think they're in it for the long haul. And sure, trade to the Sharks. Ooh, going in. We're going to put the college levels up. I'm going to put them after I get off the stream. Yeah, I still cannot. Yeah, I can't believe he said that. Yeah. Yeah, it was like, of all the references to make, like, why that one? I feel like a skit out of The Office. Like, I didn't take offense to it. I thought if it was like a skit out of The Office. Because there was the other thing where he had that speech where he talked about the woman in the barrel that tried to go across Niagara Falls and then she died. I was like, oh, it was like building up to something. Then there. Bucks ever trailed? Yeah, they had a did they have a trail? I thought Winston threw that touchdown for the Saints in that game. That deep touchdown. Did they trail that one? They didn't trail the championship. Obviously, they didn't trail in the Super Bowl. Did they trail in the playoff game? Because I know he threw, Winston threw that the one pass he threw. The Saints, yeah. No, the Saints led in that one. They led 13-10. Right, Crankhead Hafley for Parsons' success of the Packers team was scrap after he went down. Yeah, Parsons is a plug-and-play guy. Parsons gets in there every time. You know, the Bucks trail on that one. They trail 13-10. I was going to say after Jameis Winston threw that touchdown pass. Summer's not too happy about this. Rams at least 3 picks have a shot. Yeah, they got to win the turnover battle. Gotta be like Chicago. Gotta win the turnover battle. Right, the Green Bay defense eventually did break ground. They put it way more on special teams. Yeah, special teams is not good. Bisaccia, the fact that he's still there is a joke. Bisaccia should not still be there. I should also note Robert Saleh is scheduled for an in-person interview with the Cardinals. His second interview with the Cardinals. So, could potentially be going after him. Whereas with Henry Daly after college game tonight? They might. I think McDaniel's going to be left out of the equation. I think he's going to get an OC job. I don't think he's going to be head coach at this point. Yeah, Michigan Seahawks. Dude needs to find a good vet quarterback like Stafford to back up behind. Well, he needs to play well in the UFL first. Manago splits for Pittsburgh States in Vegas. I can see that. Yeah, I think Nagy to the Titans is like the only thing I'm like dead set on. I think it's going to be Udinski to the Browns, but I think the only thing I'm dead set on is Nagy to the Titans. I'm preparing for that one. Right, no country experience at the NFL level. I mean, he was at DC for a couple years at the NFL. Thoughts on Walker's running back? He's really good. Kenneth Walker was so good. And it's crazy to the Seahawks. It's a lot of slow developing runs, but he makes it work. He's so good at being patient and finding the holes. You did, Keller. Yes, you did. You did on that one. Oh, asking ChatGPT. Oh, boy. They could be wrong on that. But we'll see. The Patriots in 2016, they definitely did not trail the Falcons in the Super Bowl that year. Definitely did not trail. McDaniel will get a job almost any other year. Yeah, it might be OC for a year, but the problem is that now the 0-2 Bucks never trailed. Yeah, that sounds right. They blew up the Niners, beat the Eagles. Yeah, that tweet's blowing up. It is. Wait, the Bucks the Eagles not score the opening drive on the Mitchell kickoff return? Did they not score the opening drive? No, that's not true. The Eagles scored the opening drive. No, the Bucks trailed 7-0 on the opening drive. Because that was a big kickoff return by Mitchell that got him into deep into plus territory, and then they scored a minute in. No, so it's not the Bucks. ChatGPT's wrong on that one. It's not the Bucks in 0-2. Blind Florida's getting blackballed again? No, he's getting looks with the Steelers. He's getting interviews with Pittsburgh. He's not getting blackballed again. He died later for slipping on orange peel. Crazy. Yep. You know, that tweet's doing really well. Yeah, I'm like blowing up on Twitter lately. I don't know why, but I'll take it. It's free money, essentially. You know, so it's not the Bucks. The Bucks did the Rams ever trail? Did they trail the Bucks in the AFC Championship? They never trailed the Titans in that game. Nope, they trailed the Bucks 3-0 in that one. And 6-5. Might be 91 Washington. Yeah, I know the 89 Niners. I don't think they did it. Might be Washington 91. Yeah, I'm pretty confident they never trailed. Because they blew out the Falcons, blew out the Lions, and blew out the Bills. Yeah, exactly, JP. Yep, exactly. He was only second because Loveland was better. Yeah, Loveland was really, really good. Yeah, I've been impressed by Loveland. I was very upset when the Bears drafted Loveland because I was like, Tyler Warren was on the board, but they've both been really good for their teams. I'm pretty confident the Niners never trailed in 89. I don't know if they're the most recent team, but I'm pretty confident they never trailed in 89. I mean, I'd be flabbergasted if they, No, the Niners trailed. They trailed 3-0 on the Vikings. They trailed the Raiders too in that one, yep. I think the Steelers should hire. I think McDermott would be a good get. No, so the Ravens did it. The Ravens might have. Yeah, Bronny Gang All-Star votes is a joke. The NBA is a joke with that. Want to take it more seriously, they're going to vote Bronny? Yeah, exactly, man. Joe, I have no idea. The Niners trailed 3-0 in the first quarter against the Vikings. To the Ravens. Did they trail the Raiders before that 90? Nope, they led the whole way. They trailed the Titans. They trailed the Titans 10-7 in the second half. Yeah, Summer does not like the move. Nope, I don't blame her. Right, especially nothing, but like never trailed. Bieniemy, where is he going to? Bieniemy, he's going to the Chiefs. He's their OC. The fact that Nagy is not coming back means that right, that's a 3-0 on the Rams. Yep. It means that Nagy's going to get a head coaching job. Right, it's not the Ravens. Nope. Yeah, never trailed more than one possession. Yeah, I think the Eagles then last year would be the easy one. Why the Dolphins choose this guy? Because Sullivan's their GM. He was in the Packers front office. He knows Hafley well because Hafley was there as their DC for the last 2 years. This year's hiring fire time taking longer than ever before. Yep, because we had 3 hires after we had 4 changes after Black Monday. Because Tomlin resigned, McDaniel got fired on a Thursday, Harbaugh got fired on a Tuesday, and then McDermott got fired today. Then Washington never trailed? That sounds about right. Yeah, I'm pretty confident they never trailed. Everybody is back where it belongs. Yep. I like that the Chiefs got a wide receivers coach that actually coached wide receivers. Yeah, Pretziger's OC is a bad move. You think you're getting Mike McDaniel, then you get the Cardinals OC, who is absolutely a joke and terrible? I mean, come on. What are we doing here? Washington never trailed. Yeah, they never trailed. Matt Nagy had 1 good year as a coach, and that's it. Yep, 1 year wonder. 1 year wonder on that one. Nagy, or however you want to spell it, it's going to end in Tennessee. It looks that way because they were moving pretty quickly on Bieniemy as the OC. Anything trying to get Tomlin? No, because you have to give draft compensation to the Steelers. If Tomlin wanted to coach, he would have asked for his release. Otina, yes. He would have asked for his release. If he wanted to coach, he would have asked for his release. So he's not held hostage by Pittsburgh. He retired. He was burnt out. He's done. So they were not going to fire Tomlin. He is just burnt out. So you're not going to get him. And why would you trade compensation for a coach who might not even want to coach? That's the other thing, too. Bieniemy or Nagy's a better OC? Bieniemy. The difference with the Chiefs with Bieniemy versus Nagy is night and day. Early prediction for the Dolphins next season. Early prediction? I don't know who the quarterback's going to be. So right now I'm going to go 4-13, but I don't know who their quarterback is. That could change. They get Malik Willis, that could change. Dirt is the DC. He's going to be a hot name next year, I think. I'm not hearing any talk with him this year. Nagy should say his coordinator. Yeah, he's not head coach material, but I would laugh if the Titans got him. I think he's a competent head coach. I think the Titans should get him. Definitely not being biased when I say that. Definitely going to be the OC in Buffalo. Can you imagine? Or the head coach of Buffalo? Yeah, I'm sure Bills fans will not be happy about that. As we got Rangav with a 5, I appreciate you telling that one. Man, Miami should hire the DC from Minnesota. Oh, wait. Yeah, what happened the last time they tried that? What happened the last time? Poor Miami. Yeah, Brian Flores, I think he went about it the wrong way with Tua, but he was in the right. He was 100% of the right with Tua. Just went about it the wrong way. Why we hired him to begin with? Who, Nagy or Hafley? Or Pretzig? Yeah, Pretzig could get Campbell on the hot seat. He could definitely get him on the hot seat. Because that's a bizarre move. I can have an optimism. Look, Hafley in college was okay as a head coach. We know he can be a head coach. We know he has what it takes to be a head coach. Like, it's not like this could be a new experience for him. Just a new experience in the NFL. Bieniemy will be a future head coach? No, he's bombed every interview. He's got some character issues. I think Bieniemy, his time came and went. Dirt, you have the Seahawks, you see. Yep, nope. No, that's what I meant. Yeah, Dirt is the Seahawks DC. He's not being looked at this cycle, it seems like. Titans hire Nagy? No, I said Jason Garrett. I said that was for Garrett. I would laugh if they get Nagy. I do emergency live stream, but that was Jason Garrett. Right, BME7 UCLA is OC Hurst head coaching opportunities. He bombed every interview too. He just is not a good interviewer. Has some character issues. It would be, I think if he would have been a head coach by now. Should teams who vote against the tush push be allowed to use the play in games? I get it. I think it's a bit hypocritical, but I get the idea that, you know what, if you can't stop it, if you can't beat him, join him. That's really what it comes down to. If you can't beat him, join him. And that's the philosophy of Tails all this time. I have no problem with them being able to use it in plays, but I want it banned. I do want that play banned. Best ever assistant to never be a head coach. Probably Scarnecchia. I would go Scarnecchia on that one. The Patriots O-line coach for years. Is she left when told about needing an inhaler? Yep. And then you saw the video. I'm like, yeah, probably. Yeah, it's basketball. There's interviews ruining chances. Yeah, I would probably go Scarnecchia, the best assistant to never be a coach. I mean, he was so good with the Patriots. Never even came close to being a head coach. But without him, I'm not sure that dynasty happens. He was a part of it for sure. Never heard of him? Dante Scarnecchia? Oh, he was a long-time assistant for a long time with the Patriots. Right, people just assume the DC does nothing. It sounds a bit harsh. Yeah, I think the same thing with Burke, with D'Amico Ryans. People think it's D'Amico Ryans. Oh, Tom Moore? Oh, I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know why. Oh, I thought you meant Thomas Brown. Yeah, Tom Moore's a good pick. Tom Moore's a very good pick. He just retired. And Tom Moore's a very good pick. I thought you meant Thomas Brown, the pass game corner for the Pats. I'm like, he's getting some looks potentially. Stoutland, that's a good pick as well. That's a great question. I think Stoutland, Tom Moore. I'm going Scarnecchia, but those are great picks. Oh, I can believe it's summer because I said it for a while. I said it for a long time that it was going to be Hafley. I was like, the connection's too obvious. At least it's not Campanelli. I'm happy it's not Campanelli. We got to keep him, it looks like. Dick LeBeau, yes, he was with the Bengals. He was terrible. No, Dick LeBeau was a phenomenal player, Hall of Fame player, phenomenal coordinator, one of the best of all time. But as a head coach with the Bengals, he was a train wreck. Now, granted, most people with the Bengals back in the 90s and early 2000s were a train wreck. Consulate, oddly enough, was the only one that wasn't. He was halfway decent, but with the Bengals, he was so bad. Terrell Williams, a future head coach candidate. Still needs some time, but I think he'll get some looks. Maybe next year. Not this year, but maybe next year we'll get some looks. Ray LeBeau is still very important this year, yes. Is better coach Reed or Belichick? Better coach? Belichick. Monty Kiffin, right. The NFL level, Monty Kiffin's a great pick as well. Arians never get a head coaching gig. Never gets cancer. Yes. Yes, because Arians had Arians was going to be a hot commodity regardless because of the development with Andrew Luck and how good that team turned around with just the rookies as well. Yeah, I think he would get a look. Declan Doyle, that's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah, the Rams aren't miles better than ours. No, everything, as long as everyone's healthy, I mean, there's a three-way tie atop the NFC West in terms of, on any given day, any of those three teams. Obviously not the Cardinals, but Brady, a second opinion that allows you to focus on your CEO-type responsibilities. Absolutely. Hugh Jackson, the worst head coach ever? No. He was bad. The Raiders stint saves him from being the worst of all time. The Raiders stint is what's saving him from being the worst of all time. If it was just the Browns, then yes. But there have been bad ones. Bill Peterson, Urban Meyer, Bobby Petrino, Lou Holtz. Right, Belichick on game day. Exactly, yep. Score prediction tonight, you have 62-14. I have 38-20. Indiana 38-20. Right, I have on CBS. I would get that, yes. 60 Minutes and Murder, She Wrote. 100%. Yeah, if that was the thing. If the controversy was CBS, I would not be making that video. I maybe criticized it a little bit, being like, wait a sec. Why Shula? Why not interview Patriots and whatnot? But I get it, because Sunday night was a big night for TV. If this was CBS and it's 60 Minutes and Murder, She Wrote, and they're like top 5 in the ratings, easily. But Punky Brewster, no chance. Rehire Josh McDaniels, yes, 24-hour live stream. I would go live for a week. I'd be like Russ, go live for a week. Yeah, Kodak, he at least made the playoffs, but he's up there. His Jets tenure, if it was just his Jets tenure, he'd be up there for the worst of all time. Yeah, I think Indiana wins big tonight. I hope it's a good game. I hope it's a really good game. I think Indiana wins big tonight. Would not be surprised in the slightest bit. Your mom knows Arian Darlaw. Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. If you're just tuning in, breaking news, Hafley to the Dolphins. Patrick Stevens went south because Hafley's best 2 or 3 players went down. I mean, that's fair, but also, you gotta make adjustments. I mean, it's not that they just plummeted. I mean, they were terrible in the final 2 minutes of games. We saw the Bears exploit that. They allowed 32 points per game the final 4 games. I'm not counting the Vikings game because they played the backups in that one. Bill Pearson, the worst of all those? Yes. Yes, the ticking time bomb comment was insane. The bomb that's gonna explode, like that comment was nuts in the locker room. Or at least Lou Holtz was honest. Yes, at least he was. But the fight song was just so funny. If Garrett's ever hired again, 24-hour live stream, yes. If he's ever hired again as head coach, I would. Right, they buried it during the playoffs. Yep, which was smart on their end. You're like, okay, you want the episode? All right, here you go. It's going to be a time that no one's watching. Terrible coordinator, but great head coach. Mike Vrabel. The Texans had the worst defense in football in 2017. The literal worst defense. Mike Vrabel had 1 year of experience as a defensive coordinator. They had the worst defense in football. Becomes a head coach, and obviously, phenomenal. Watching Michigan, I thought Michigan would comfortably, never the bloodbath Georgia TCU was. No. I never thought 65-7. Yeah, once Parson went down, it suffered. I mean, you expect like a step back, but also, he loves angles of violent destruction. He does. I mean, the defensive collapse. I mean, look, this is an interesting hire because we know he can be a head coach. He was at Boston College. He was fine at BC. Nothing great, but he was fine. This feels like a Doug Marrone. This feels like they got Doug Marrone. This pretty much feels when the Bills got Doug Marrone. This feels very similar. I tell you, Miami could go. Depends on who they get next quarterback. I think the wheels are in motion to get Malik Willis at this point. Who gets Bill's job? If they don't promote Dable, I think Minner or Kubiak. That's not silly at all, Keller. That's not silly at all. Depending on what happens, I don't blame you at all. It could be the greatest moment of your life. It could be the most euphoric moment of your life. It could be heartbreak. I mean, I get it. I'm doing all right, and I appreciate tuning in. Looking forward to Miami, Indiana. Yep, I'm going to be live for that game. Going to be live in a little bit for that one. Also, thoughts on McDermott getting canned. I was shocked, but Bean was the one that should have gone. Bean was, if anyone needs to go, it was Brandon Bean. Any college coach that's taking an NFL job this upcoming season. Not this season, but Freeman's going to get some looks next year as well. Division 4th place team will finish first next year. I got the Saints. I like what Kellen Moore is doing. I think Tyler Shuck has looked shockingly good. I think they're going to get some good pieces in free agency. They finally have some cap space to work with. I think the Saints have all the makings of a worst to first team. Right, Marone won a playoff game. Fins fans would love that. Yep, haven't won one since 2000. Mike with football? No. No, you got to give him a chance. Give him a chance. Again, it's not the worst hire. It's not the worst. When the Titans get Nagy, that will be the worst. But Hafley, it's pretty meh. Pretty middle of the road so far. Oh, no, you're not going overboard. No, look, I get it. It's exciting times. Right now, Bean got a promotion. He failed upwards. I don't know how. Right, maybe Vrabel is better as a DC than, I don't know what the second part of that one, Hot Wax, is. I don't know what that is. But yeah, he was a great head coach, obviously. But DC was not that good. Right now, she doesn't get the NFL. Nope. Yeah, she was senior dad and got the power of the NFL. Yep. It's a great moment. I don't think I would cry me. Morris or DC. Morris is a great DC. Look, Morris is one of those guys that great DC, bad head coach. Talked about that earlier. He's one of them. Yeah, 25 years. Yep. It's like if Gase was promoted to GM after 2020. Yep. Best job available. Either Bills or Ravens. Both have franchise quarterbacks. I trust the Ravens front office more than the Bills front office, but I also trust Josh Allen to stay healthy more than Lamar Jackson. So I personally would have the Bills as the best vacancy. If the Jags or say no to the Browns, no, not for a head coach. For a head coaching job, you strike when the iron's hot. You don't say no. 30 years old, you have to remember too. 30 years old, he'll get a second chance. If he does not do well with the Browns and he then becomes good as an OC, he'll get a second chance. He's still very young. You strike while the iron's hot. Especially because next year, I'm not sure how many vacancies they're going to get. I know, we'll go party up and sale, lose him out of time. Makes sense. The Steve's going to lose special. Yeah, the rest of the AFC East is humiliation king. I've never heard that phrase. The most Teflon head coach? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I've never heard that phrase before. I've never heard that phrase. A 20-something head coaching job? I mean, Dave Shula got looks at 26. Dave Shula, when he was with the Dolphins back in the 80s, he got in the door right away because obviously Don Shula was his dad. But he got looks at 26 by the Eagles. So I think we will. Yeah, JG and I will, yep. Yeah, I mean, Dave Shula got some looks. I think it would have to be not a nepotism hire, but it'd have to be someone that could get in the door right away, like straight out of high school. Like not go to college, just go straight out of high school, be a son of a coach, and then work the way up the ranking. Can Brock still make it? Yeah. Yeah, 26, that's my edge. Yep. I can't, yeah. And Shula was terrible as head coach with the Bengals. Oh, coaches survived missed opportunities of getting fired despite his incompetence. Oh, okay. And then Steelers with a 5, appreciate you a ton. Be reporting that Steelers like Shula. Ooh. Don't hate it. I don't hate it. I don't hate what he's done with the Rams. That tree is pretty good. That tree is pretty good. All right, so survived missed opportunities of getting fired despite his incompetence. Zach Taylor. Or Marvin Lewis. I mean, Marvin Lewis, how many guys last, 15 years without winning a playoff game? How many guys can last that long? And then GM, probably Chris Greer. And the Dolphins haven't won a playoff game since 2000. He's been with the organization for that long and only now got fired. But people were somebody's youth at 42. And then becomes like the oldest coach ever. Well, I've heard of Teflon, but I've never heard of Teflon coach. Never heard it used like that. But that's what Golden Steel means. Then I would say Marvin Lewis and I mean, even to some extent, Hugh Jackson. I mean, you go 1-31, you still stick around. That's insane. Yeah, Charbonnet out for the year. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Based on how I walked off, I'm not surprised. Right, immune to criticism, blame, or scandal. Yeah, so just staying on. Anything like that, immune to criticism and whatnot. I think to some extent, the Chiefs tenure Andy Reid. To some extent, Chiefs version of Andy Reid. And GM, it felt like Dave Caldwell for a while. He used to stay there 8 years, and the Jags were awful, 7 of them. There's always a trust the process 5-year plan, and everyone bought into it. Remember Lewis and Matt Millen? Yeah. Those are not bad picks either. Those are not bad picks. Yeah, but Shula's going to be an interesting hire. Shula's the wild card on this. Obviously, the Rams coaching tree with McVay is really, really good. And go with what's working. Yeah, Schwartz getting the Browns gig? I would love that. I want to keep Udinski, but I just don't see it with Udinski as a head coach just yet. They're make a run without Bo at quarterback? Yes, I think they can. I think the Pats are a better matchup than the Texans, because the Texans, I don't think they would score on them. Hot seat coaches next year. Glenn, yep. Taylor, yep. Bowles, yep. Steichen, yep. Quinn, Sirianni potentially. Quinn, Quinn definitely. Reed could retire. Wait, Star Trek, I did not know that. I did not recognize that. I mean, with 10 firings this year, it's going to be hard for, looking at like guys on the hot seat going into the next year. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be too many. Yeah, never seen us split out that even. Yep, 52-48 on that one. 52-48. All right. I have to get everything set up for the next stream because we're going live for the Indiana game. Yeah, if it was the Texans, I think they don't score a point. I don't think they score at all. Patriots, if they have a shot against. Not a great shot, but I think a shot. All right, so here's the game plan. I'm going live for the Natty. That game starts at 7:30. I'm going to start the stream at 6:30. You guys know the drill now with the countdown clock and everything. Just want to go live, break this news about Hafley. I appreciate all you guys tuning in for this one. Again, new coach filled. 3 down, 7 more to go. See you guys in a couple minutes for the national championship. I'll get everything set up behind me. Indiana, Miami, coming up next at 7:30 Eastern. I'll set everything up right now. Coming up on